What's good, guys? It's Vilify here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the stage coming soon to Global, and that is Universe 6 Extreme Super Battle Road. Now, with Global getting this stage in specific, I want to go ahead and give you a bit of a guide on how to beat it, as well as give you sort of the team that you want to use. So, as Universe 6, there's really not too much freedom here with the units that you're going to be using. So, let's go ahead and talk about some of the different options that you can use. So, as you know, we kind of normally do these things. We just go ahead and talk about different options that would probably work for this category. It's one of those ones where you just think you get it, but it's really what makes it difficult is the free-to-play options really aren't like jump off the page. But if we just want to talk about overall kind of must-run units, the first one that comes to mind is Tech Khalifa. So with Tech Khalifa, if you guys don't know, against Universal Survival Saga enemies or Pure Saiyan, she has a 100% dodge rate. So if you guys played when the God event was considered the bar for difficult content, you'd know that she was really valuable, as she could just literally not be hit, right? Doesn't matter what she's done, what you do, it doesn't matter where they're at, they're going to dodge no matter what. So it made things really, really interesting. And what you can do if you don't have, if you do have, what you should do is, rather than feeding dupes into Tech Khalifa, what you want to do is take one of the dupes that you put in and then use the SSR. So in my case, I've pulled her probably 5 or 6 times now. So I have the Tech Khalifa Rainbow, but I also have her SSR, who's going to have the same effect, where against Universal Survival Saga or Pure Saiyan, she's going to dodge, so it is not a problem. What you want to do then is run them in slot 1 no matter what the entire fight. Unless there's no attacks in that spot and you want to throw them in slot 2, I would say these two are just going to camp in slot 1 for you the whole time, as this team sort of lacks that slot 1 defensive tank that you can really rely on no matter what. So Tech Khalifa, I just wanted to go ahead and do a dedicated section for her, as she is kind of the most important unit that kind of gels this Extreme Super Battle Road run to get, the most out of your defensive abilities, and that way you just kind of stay safe throughout the entire fight, right? So let's go ahead and move on to the leader that you should be running, and in my opinion, it is Tech Hit, as he is a Universal Survival Saga 160%, as well as Universe 6. I believe he gets, what is he? He is, I'm pulling him up right now. So he's 170 for Universe 6, and then 150 for Universal Survival Saga. That is post-EZA, or pre-EZA. So yeah, 170 and then 160. Okay, yeah, so key 4 and 170 for Universe 6. So you are getting, aside from a 200% leader skill, the maximum amount of key and stats that you can get that is not a 200% leader skill. So he is going to have an absolutely massive effect on this run, as he does a lot of stunning. And if the enemy is stunned as is, he hits like a absolute runaway freight train. You just saw on the last turn, he hit for 8 million attack with a chance to lower attack, defense, and stun. So he is very, very valuable. And somebody else that is very, very valuable is the Tech Kale and Khalifa unit. Now, these guys are probably one of the more premium options for this team, as they are the newest unit to my knowledge that aren't like EZA or anything like that, right? Like when it comes to summonable units, they are the newest of the new. So what you would want to do is put them in slot 2. They will link up very well with the other girls from Universe 6. So you have really nothing to worry about there. And then some of the other options that you would want to think about are the free-to-play. If you want to talk about free-to-play options, we have the Kale, the Khalifa, and the Kaaba. They all EZA'd and are reliable options. The EZAs that came out in 2020 of Kale and Khalifa, the AGL and the physical one. We have the physical Kale, who has damage reduction, and then the AGL Khalifa, who has a dodge chance as well as a super attack counter if it is a blast, I believe. So those two are very reliable options that you could run in slot 1 at so slot 1 for Khalifa. You probably want to run slot 2 for Kale, just because she gets better with super attacks, and she has that damage reduction that's passive. So she is going to look very nice. If you have 2 other premium options, if you wanted to summon on the typing banners, you could have STR Kaaba or STR Hit. Those are 2 very good options. The LR Kale and Khalifa are very runnable units as well, as they build up dodge chance and stack. So if the fight takes 5 to 6 turns, you're going to see them built up very, very well. Now, one of the other EZAs is Physical Kefla, as she is a physical orb changer, and she gets much, much better with more orbs. So you could be seeing 5 to 6 million attack stats with the dodge chance and more defense based on the orbs that she has. You probably want her floating or in slot 2 on one of the rotations, as she is very reliable with what I just mentioned. She usually is doing 2 to 3 supers. She has a dodge chance. She gets a lot of defense on super or on the orbs that she has. So you could be looking at 500, 600k defense that goes well with kind of what we're doing, right? So one thing that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video is that we are using the Zeno support memory that you get for clearing all these stages of the God event. It is absolutely not a must-run item. It just does make things a little bit easier if you do have it. You get that temporary buff, or not the temporary, you get the permanent buff for the entire fight. So it's going to renew at the beginning of every turn, and as the whole team is Universal Survival Saga, obviously it is a very runnable thing. Kind of continuing to talk about some of the units that I see here. STR Kale is not as useful as Tech Khalifa is in here just because she has guard, but she does not have that dodge chance, so she is not reliable as a slot 1 unit as Khalifa is, but you could absolutely run that rotation and get away with it. And then STR Kefla is really kind of like the bottom of the barrel for me. STR Kefla is just really mid. She needs that STR Kaba around to change the orbs, so that way she gets her dodge chance as well. It just really maximizes her potential. You're just not going to be seeing what you want from STR Kefla. I wish she was better, but unfortunately she is not. And then the last unit that I'm going to be talking, the last two rather, the first one being Int Kaba. He is kind of dependent on having a Vegeta around, so I would stay away from him. And then Int Vados, obviously she has her dodge chance. She has the attack lowering, the defensive lowering, and the ceiling. She is a solid Super Battle Road option across the board, especially when, she's kind of like not really the gel of the team, but she can hold her own nicely as a floater. So if you want to talk about sort of the meta team, I think I'm running the best potential setup that you could have. You could forego the Tech Kale Khalifa SSR and run the LR Kale and Khalifa, but I thought that this team was just the most well-equipped for Super Battle Road. You get the power creep of Tech Kale and Khalifa, as well as the power creep of Tech Hit's Easy A. You get Physical Kefla's Easy A, which is uber powerful. You have Tech Hit, who is just dominant. We have Tech Khalifa, who just can't be hit. We have Vados, who does the ceiling. And, we really... part of what makes Super Battle Road, difficult is the fact that you have to find a way to keep your opponent limited as well as keep yourself sustainable, right? Like, half of the battle is making sure that you don't die. Not don't die, but you make sure that your opponent just is not equipped to be able to beat you, right? You do the attack lowering, or you do the stunning so they can't hit you. You do the ceiling so they take away the super attack. That's what makes Super Battle Road different, and you have all these items at your disposal, so what you can do is use the support memories, you can use the Whis to counteract the damage. It's all about making sure that your opponent just does not have the opportunity to kill you, to take you out. It's more of just a matter of keeping them limited to the point where you can just get it done, right? I guess that's kind of one way to put it. When the opponent can't hit you or isn't strong enough to do any real damage, that's where it comes from, right? You don't need to have 9 to 10 million attack stats. If you have enough units that do utility to keep the opponent neutered and, kind of what's the word, gimped, right? You should be fine. So you're going to find that I mistakenly brought a Bulma item instead of a Icarus. I don't know why. I guess I was just kind of in my rhythm from putting items on the punching machine just to kind of mess around with that, and I just put the Bulma one on without thinking. But obviously you would not want to use a Bulma item in here unless you're going for a nuke setup, but as you guys can see with the team that I'm running, this is not a nuking setup. So when it comes to the Universe 6 team, it's not like the last video I did, which was Time Travelers in terms of the global guide, where there's a ton of different options. It really is just kind of cut and dry. There's about 10 usable units, maybe 11 or 12, that you would really want to rely on, and then just kind of it's the rest, right? Like we think about Bodo Magetta, the Int one, you're not using them. You think of Physical Champa, you think of Physical Hit, the Universe 6 Namekians, STR Champa, AGL Vados, the World Tournament Kale and Khalifa units. They're just not getting the job done, right? You see a unit like AGL Hit, who has improved, but he is not runnable at this point. So what you guys are seeing is just kind of like a Tech Hit-led team with the Universe 6 girls kind of doing all of the heavy lifting, with Hit kind of floating, doing his thing, right? So you guys just saw what we did to Gohan right there. We had attack lowering, we had defense lowering, and we had a stun. Now maybe, so right here, we just know that we're not going to be able to get the job done, and everybody is stunned, so there's really no point in putting Hit in slot 1. We might as well just keep him floating, but maybe what I could have done if I were to go back and do this, maybe I would have put Hit in slot 1 to make sure that Gohan is done, because look at the damage we just did to Gohan right there. Like, we literally did nothing. Kefla did not get many physical orbs, so she is only sitting at 1.1 million, and overall she is just not looking as good as you want her to look, right? So, if you guys are having any trouble with this, please let me know. But the problem, when it comes to the trouble with this, I just feel like it's like you're missing the required units. It's not that you can't get lucky. I had somebody say that they could not do the team that I used for the Time Travelers run, but they said they used the same team, and I guess what I could say is, like, if you are running the same team, you can clearly see that it's possible that you can win. It just comes down to the luck of the draw, right? So going into the last fight with 5 items is kind of where you want to be. Saving the damage reduction, stacking some of it, doing 2 turns, like, okay, let's see what Whis and Princess Snake can do right here. That 70% damage reduction is going to be more than enough to go ahead and get this fight done. But you guys are going to see that this, it takes me quite a bit to get through with this, right? Because the whole idea is, like, we just absolutely need to keep going on Beerus, so that way we just get rid of him because of all this tech that we have. I just want to try and do as much damage to him as possible, get all those additionals in, keep him gimped, right? Keep those stuns going and stuff like that, get some crits, and then, Khalifa is doing her thing. She is doing pretty well with the dodges because she does stack up that dodge chance as the fight goes on. But if she does take like a super, she's obviously going to take a lot, and just we have to use an item to counteract that, right? Because this low-key could have been like a no-item turn, right? But I was like, I'm not going to risk it. What I should have done, maybe now that I think about it, is went for the seal on Whis. Maybe I did. This was a couple days ago. After I found out this was announced, I immediately went and recorded it. So I kind of forget how I did this. Yep, and there we go. We get the double super from Kale and Khalifa. I wish these two were better, but I will say for long events and kind of like running with the theme of how Universe 6 has a lot of stackers, I would say that they fit pretty well within the team that they want to be on. And yeah, you see, I just go for Beerus, so maybe I should have gone for Whis. I think if I would have gone back in time, that's probably what I would have done. Because right there, Whis does his super, but Vados dodges it, right? Because that would have really hurt if we didn't use an item, because even the normal right there did 19k. So I think I make an oopsie right here, and I get the Dokkan attack. I definitely do. And you guys are going to see this is like, you know, this is like a skill issue at its finest. I get like none of the orbs right here. I think I missed like 5. Not 5, I missed 3 because I'm like, well, this isn't going to do any damage anywhere, so who cares, right? Like you'll see I tap early on accident. Like right here, I go boom, and I tapped early, and then boom, boom, boom. I missed the last two. I'm like, damn, I suck. But, I mean, look at the Dokkan attack. It's doing 200k, right? What I should have done is, because I guess I didn't see that one of them, they were both stunned. So what I should have done is thrown Kefla into slot 1 and grabbed all those physical orbs. That way the Dokkan attack actually would have done some real damage. So now I'm in for a bit more of a gauntlet that's going to take me quite a bit to get through this. But, you know, if you guys just kind of keep playing this and get the stuns that you need and all that fun stuff, it should be pretty relatively easy. Like when it comes to Extreme Super Battle Road characters, or stages, it's always nice when the team is linear. Like it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like the team is easy to build because you know exactly what you need, but the kind of the devil's advocate argument is that if you don't have those units, it could be really tough, right? Like, because if you're missing Tech Khalifa, good luck, right? Like it's like the no item run's going to be super, super tricky, but the run in itself is going to be, you know, pretty simple if you do have this team. So this is where things get interesting, right? Because I'm thinking like, I only have a Bulma item right here, or I have this Bulma item just collecting dust, where that could be an Icarus and extra damage reduction. But instead, I'm over here running, you know, just getting attack up that I don't really need. So my hope is that Khalifa does enough, and then Kale and Khalifa do enough to get rid of Beerus, so that way our boy Hit can go ahead and take care of Whis and get him stunned and ready to go. But I think we end up coming just short of getting that done. Yeah, but you guys can see Khalifa hasn't taken a hit yet, even with the items going, so it doesn't even matter. But obviously, it was just running a rather safe than sorry approach. And then here we go. So boom, and oh, it's gonna be so close. Yeah, see, we don't take out Beerus. That's where, you know, because now it like hits the like 5 million. Beerus isn't surviving this, right? But now, you know, we're 4 turns in, and now we haven't even gotten started on Whis yet, right? So it's where things definitely get interesting. And we didn't get a stun on Whis, so now he gets to go ahead and tee off a bit. That's why we had to bring the items, and that's why bringing this Bulma item is not doing us any favors at the moment. So I think this goes on for 2 or 3 more turns, because this is just not going to do that much damage, because Kefla is just not getting the orbs she needs, right? She wants to have like a ton of orbs, and she's just not getting them on the way that I have this set up. This rotation of Tech Khalifa and physical Kefla is not very good, but it will get the job done. And right there, our girl Khalifa almost sells for us, right? Taking 300k from a normal. So I'm thinking for a minute, I'm like, oh no, is this run screwed? And then I think I still have an Android 8 left. So then obviously I go ahead and use that to kind of counteract what just happened. Now we are at the point where we need Whis to not super, because if he does super, we're probably donezo. But that's why we have Vados along to go ahead and get that seal for the next turn, so he can't super, and we keep him gimped, like I said. Kefla does go ahead and get the dodge chance, so we definitely would have been dead if we had not gotten that dodge, so shout out to Kefla for that. That is where the run can kind of go south, but again, you guys can see I'm limiting myself by not having an Icarus around, and now I have to kind of rely on something that's not as consistent. So what we do is we pop an Android 8, and then we have that extra defense, so Kale and Khalifa are sitting near 500, 600k, so I don't have to worry about them anymore. And then we have our boy Hit doing his thing, 7 orbs, there we go. Tech Khalifa is going to go ahead and, he's stunned because of Hit's chance, right? So what I'm thinking is we have to do one more turn after this one. It depends on how the damage goes, because you guys can see we still has like a lot of health left, right? Like we're looking at 3.5 million right here. You know, we're doing a pretty well job, but we're at 14 minutes. Yeah, so we're almost done. We probably have one more turn after this from this pre-recorded run, but you guys can just see overall what you got to do. Just let Kale and Khalifa do their thing, let Tech Hit do their thing, and then let the Tech Khalifas kind of keep you out of harm's way, right? So 6.6 million right there for our boy Tech Hit. I think he would need an additional if he wanted to end it on this turn. I think we go one more and physical Kefla ends up getting the job done, but that crit of 4 million right there is huge, because that basically solidifies that we're going to get it done on this run, especially if the orbs go in our favor, which, as you guys can see throughout the video, they absolutely have not. So I don't know why I did that. I should have grabbed those orbs with physical Kefla. But such is life, you know. I can't make everything. I can't make every decision right. So, yeah, we have the stun right there, so we're good. It's just a matter of getting the damage done. If physical Kevlar does not get the job done, tech hit will. We have 80k damage right there, 1.5 mil. Obviously, you guys have seen her hit way harder. Maybe what I would do if I were to run this one back, I would put physical Kevlar as a floater rather than tech hit. But you guys can see with these additionals and stuff like that, tech hit will get the job done if physical Kevlar does not. So that was the Universe 6 Extreme Super Battle Road stage. Let me know what you guys think of it. If you guys are going to be able to beat this on Global when it comes out, is it going to take you a bit? Do you have the units that you need? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, that's all I got for you in today's video. Do not forget to leave a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you are new. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss out when I post daily dokkan content like this. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. And I'm signing out.